Before I get started on the video, I'd like to ask you guys to go ahead and hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button and hit the notification checkbox. That way you guys don't miss any future uploads from me and you become part of the notification squad. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video.
What's up, people of YouTube? This is here bringing you guys another video to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about Call of Duty World War II in general. I'm going to talk about it in a whole outlook. Now, I do have to keep in mind that there are a lot of things that are not necessarily official in terms of multiplayer due to the server problems, but that is also something that is going to be talked about within the video itself. The server issues, connection, balancing, stuff like that. So I'm going to try and make this video kind of short and sweet. Hopefully, I don't really know at the point of recording this. There's no way for me to know, but I would like to think that this video will be under 10 minutes long. So let's go ahead and just kind of get right into it. So I'm going to start off with zombies, which is the mode that I have the least experience with. I think I've played 2 or 3 zombies matches, and the reason why I decided to do a review or just kind of a look at the game as a whole with only that many games played is because I do not feel like zombies is so different that I need to really dive into it like you would have had to with Advanced Warfare Zombies, which was fairly different from previous iterations of the zombies game mode. So basically, I think that the zombies is good. I think it's fun. I was enjoying it. It didn't seem too complex, which I think the past couple of Treyarch games, Black Ops 2 and especially Black Ops 3, were extremely complicated in how to just play it in general. Like, you know, having the monster thing that you have to control. I didn't feel that overwhelming sense while playing Call of Duty World War II zombies. But I can say that it didn't grab my attention. It wasn't something that instantly hooked me, and I'm going to be putting more time into zombies later on down the line, but for the most part, I would say zombies is a pretty enjoyable part of the game, and I could easily see why people would want to spend as much time as some people do in that area of the game. A little side note for zombies, I absolutely love the new sounds for the zombies. I love the gore. It's legitimately scary in some parts. It actually kind of gets to you after, you know, it happens the first time. It's not such a big deal, but it is definitely an enjoyable experience, and I'm looking forward to playing it more. I've just been so fixated on the multiplayer side of things that I haven't actually been able to give it an actual chance yet and sit down and play it for a very long period of time, but that will eventually come. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the campaign. We'll save the multiplayer for last because it's probably going to take the longest out of this entire video. So the campaign, I don't have much of anything negative to say about it. I think the campaign was a great story. I think that they did a very good job with it. The biggest complaint that I could have for it is I feel like some of the missions were a little too short, and I feel like the campaign overall was too short. I would have loved it if there was more to it because I just wanted to keep playing. It could easily be the best Call of Duty campaign we've ever had in terms of story. Like I said, I wish it was a little bit longer. I wish some of the missions were a little bit longer, but that definitely does not sway me away from saying that this is a bad campaign by any stretch of the imagination. I personally did not care too much for Black Ops 3's campaign. Black Ops 2's campaign was good, but it wasn't fantastic to me. Infinite Warfare's campaign was pretty good for it being the space theme, but World War II just takes it to a whole nother level, and Advanced Warfare's campaign was also really good. It looked really good, but I wouldn't put it up there, you know, a top 3. This is definitely a top 3, if not the best. You know, it's sitting up there amongst some of the best Call of Duty campaigns to date, and that's basically all I really have to say. I do think that it was pretty historically accurate. I liked how they kind of, you know, no spoilers here, but they do kind of touch on the Jewish side of things and Nazis and camps and things of that nature, and I think that it's really, really cool that they went into that. They didn't have a censor there of, oh, let's just not acknowledge that this happened, because it did. And I don't think I've ever played a World War II video game where they actually touched on that subject, because that's something that companies usually want to stay away from, and I'm just really happy that they went through with it and they didn't censor a bunch of stuff. It was gory. Once again, I'm very happy that it was a gory campaign. It felt like when someone was shot that it was important, like it mattered. It didn't feel like there's an AI character that just died next to you, or there's this person that I didn't know. It felt like every single character that was dying around you was someone of importance at one point or another. And that is, I think that's really what they were trying to do with the campaign, and they 100% hit that perfectly. It's a very good campaign. And I would recommend anyone who is not used to playing Call of Duty campaigns to just give it a shot. Just go and try it, and I don't think you will be disappointed. I think you'll enjoy it quite a bit. Now, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is obviously the multiplayer. The last thing left on this this very big list of things to talk about just in the multiplayer alone. I'm going to start with the servers. I'm going to start by saying that this has been the worst launch for a Call of Duty multiplayer to date. Now, the only other time that I've had this bad of a launch for multiplayer was Black Ops 2, which was personally my favorite Call of Duty of all time, which, honestly, this multiplayer could give it a run for its money. I'm not sure yet, but I will say that this is definitely the worst launch we've ever had. Tons of bugs, tons of connection issues, disconnected, frozen screens, losing supply drops. I've been on the better end of it. I haven't gotten the worst part of this. I don't really get that frozen endless loading screen. I didn't get deranked. I only lost like 2 supply drops maybe. I do get disconnected quite a bit, and I have really bad connections where I'm jittering all over the place and I can't hit people. The day that I'm recording this, which is the day before the video was posted, apparently this stuff has been fixed. I have not played yet today, so I cannot say, and I really hope it is, because that could be a great step in the right direction. But that is just a really rocky start. Now let's touch on another negative subject when it comes to the multiplayer. We'll get to the positives later because there are more of those. There's only 9 maps in the game, which at first I was really okay with this. I was like, you know what? Quality over quantity. If the maps are really good, then I don't really have a problem with it. And it's not that the maps are bad, because I don't think that they're really all awful. Gustav Cannon, not a fan of it. Point du Hoc, not necessarily a fan of it. Ardennes Forest, not a huge fan of it. All the other maps, though, I do like for the most part. The only war map that I don't like is Operation Griffin. I like Neptune, and I like Breakout being my favorite. But I do find myself getting really bored. I don't want to play the same maps that I've been playing over and over and over again. I wish there was more variety, and there's just not. And, there's nothing we can do about it at this point. It is what it is. It's all said and done. But that actually is a big bummer to me, and I am sad that there are not more multiplayer maps at launch. I feel like it definitely affected the longevity of the game, because I'm finding myself getting tired of playing the maps that I've been playing on already, which is why I try and jump between war and regular team deathmatch, kill confirmed, whatever, because of that very reason. So the next negative thing that I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about the weapons in general. I think that for the most part, the weapons are okay. They're not awful. It's not one of the worst. It's not like Advanced Warfare where it was ASM-1 or BAL. It's not like that, thankfully. It is a lot better than that. But the balancing is not necessarily on par with what I would like it to be. I think that the SMGs overall need a slight buff, and I don't know where. I'm not a game developer. I don't know exactly what needs to be done. But I would suggest maybe a little bit more damage, because some of these guns, like the Thompson, I went and I unlocked that right away, because the World War II era guns, the Thompson is definitely my favorite, and I went and I unlocked it, and I was extremely disappointed. I used it for a while and I was enjoying it, and then I couldn't use it anymore. Like, I was getting beat in gunfights a lot of the time by the bar, and that's just something that shouldn't be happening. They're gonna have to do some balancing. I think the assault rifles for the most part are pretty good, but I think that the SMGs just need to be better. They need to kill quicker up close. They need to be doing a little bit more damage at far. So now, let's get into the more positive things. I want to talk about the game at its core. How does this game feel just by playing it? Like just the Call of Duty feeling in general. And I think that it is one of the best Call of Duties we've had for just the straight up feel of the game. When you're running around with a gun and you're killing people, it is that traditional Call of Duty feeling. And it captures that extremely well in comparison to the past few years. So well that I had forgotten what it really felt like to enjoy a boots on the ground Call of Duty, a new boots on the ground Call of Duty. So really, really good job on that aspect. I hope to see that come in the future to this game, to the series, to new games in the series. And I hope we never leave the ground again. Honestly, I don't want to see it leave the ground ever again. Next positive thing to talk about. Supply drops are a part of Call of Duty now. They just are. And I am very, very happy with the way they are doing it in this game. I'm very happy that you can earn them as fast as you can. And now, once again, the time we were recording this, they had announced that there was like 3 times XP, and it wasn't supposed to be that way. They had double XP active since the launch of the game itself, and that it was going to be shut off come Monday. Today is Monday, the day I'm recording this, and there's another 24 hours of regular XP or double XP, depending on how you want to look at it. And so when it does go back to that 1 XP, it's going to be really slow. So you're going to be earning supply drops slower than you were before, because you do get one every 5 levels. And that's a bummer, and that makes me sad. But for the most part, with the orders and the challenges, you do earn supply drops pretty quick, and I am very satisfied about that. And I hope that that trend stays and continues. I really like the Prestige logos. That's a little thing, but I really, really like the Prestige logos in this game. I think they look fantastic. Tons of color. Definitely something that I think other game developers should take note of. Treyarch isn't so bad, but especially Infinity Ward, please take note of these Prestige icons, because I think this is what most people want when they want a Prestige. This is what they want the icons to look similar to. Score streaks are okay to me. I'm not a huge fan of score streaks anyway. I don't mess around with them too much. I don't really try going for them just because it stresses me out, and then I get upset if I die, and it's just, they're satisfying, but they're okay to me. They could be better, I guess, but they're definitely not the worst thing in the world. Camos, I do like the camos for the most part. Nobody really knows what the secret camo is. People are saying chrome. I really hope that's not true, because I don't think it's fit to be a secret camo, even though it could be a very quality regular camo. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for this video. I would say overall, like, if I had to rate Call of Duty World War II between 1 and 10, I would give it an 8 right now, with the potential of going higher. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and deuces.